to our webinar. I'm excited to have you guys here. Excited to share some really cool, a really cool product this morning that Navattic provides. And yeah, we're going to give a couple minutes to let some people hop in and log in, see people come in. If just some housekeeping items, there's a chat, I would love to hear where you're tuning in from, where you're watching. I already got a few LinkedIn messages from some of our Australian friends just asking about recording. Yes, recording will be posted afterwards. I don't know why our friends in Australia didn't want to stay up at 3 a.m. to plug into this webinar. Like, where's the commitment, guys? But the recording will be posted on our YouTube channel afterwards. With the comments section, we will have a Q&A afterwards. I'm one of those people that if I don't ask my question right away or I don't write it down, I will forget it. So as Ben's going through Navattic software, please submit your questions in the chat right away, and we'll go back through and make sure we answer all of those. But yeah, let's dive right into some stuff. Let's introduce ourselves briefly. My name is Sal Bunicor. I am the marketing coordinator at Technology Leader Company. So I work with Presales Leader, Product Marketing Leader, Business Consulting Leader, that full suite of full life cycle solutions. At least to my right is our founder, Jeremy. Jeremy, what's your role other than just founder here in this company?
Yeah, so thanks, Sal. We started Presales Leader about 3.5 years ago, and as our clients asked us to do some other things, we developed some other business units. Presales Leader is a pre-sales as a service. So we basically learn the software of our clients that they make, and then we help them partner with their AEs, just like an in-house SE, solution architect or solution engineer, and do their demos for them. So help win more deals at higher deal values. That's kind of our saying over there in the pre-sales world. Product Marketing Leader is our top of funnel service. That's where we're actually writing content, helping people with content strategy, go-to-market strategy, and filling their funnel with leads so then we can have folks to demo to. That's the best way to describe the product marketing side. And then the end of the life cycle, actually, when folks buy, typically in our experience is an ERP system. That's about 90% of our business is within the ERP ecosystems. Acumatica specifically, a lot of times they need our clients are the resellers of that software, and they actually need help doing the implementation, maybe all of it, doing some of it, kind of an extension of solution design, but post-sale. So that's just a quick summary of us. And we've been actually a Navattic client for probably 3 years. I mean, we adopted the software pretty quickly and evaluated the demo automation landscape 3 years ago. And it's been great working with Navattic, and really excited to just start to talk to more of our end clients about this solution.
Yeah, I would say there's probably not a workday that goes by that one of us isn't in Navattic using it, especially on the product marketing side. Gets a lot of use on our end. But Ben, I also want to introduce you as well.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Sal, love to hear that you're in the product daily. That's music to our ears. But hey, everybody. I'm Ben Pearson. I lead the sales team here at Navattic. Was the first non-founder hire at the team here, so was really with us from day one, and have been able to kind of see this entire space grow. To Jeremy's point, 3 years ago, the landscape looked one way, and today it has changed so much. So it's been such an incredible ride, and I've really enjoyed helping build the team and just kind of forming the market in general.
Awesome. Ben, yeah, thank you so much for being on here and being willing to take the time to share a little bit of an in-depth view or overview of everything Navattic does and can provide. But before I turn it over to you to dive into there, Jeremy, I would love your thoughts on some things here, because this is kind of the formal announcement of a partnership between Presales Leader and Navattic, and curious what the thought process was behind that, the why, what makes this such a special partnership between us two?
Yeah, so we've been a client for a while, and one of the things that we've often looked at is really just like a referral partnership to be able to send clients to. and we've had that in place for some time with Navattic. What we learned though is the bulk of our customers, and again, think of like in a very fragmented software ecosystem. One of the reasons our pre-sales business is so successful is many of our clients will never actually hire a full-time W-2 SE, right? An ERP ecosystem like Acumatica is made up of 500 small companies. Some of them are resellers, some of them are marketplace solution providers. And it's one of the things I love. It's like the best form of small business to work in, right? Everybody's kind of just a big family of privately owned companies. But that also means there's not always a person to be able to learn new tools and actually build the solutions. So kind of this new chapter of partnership with Navattic is us actually going in and delivering the service as well of, hey, let's actually create the click-through demo experience for you, target what areas of Acumatica or your app you want to be able to build out, and then let's enable and train your salespeople on how to use that, and just really get our hands dirty, really as an extension of the end client's team at that point. So that's kind of the genesis of what we're kicking off today and what we're really excited to lean into in 2025 with our own client base.
No, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Without further ado, why don't we just dive right into things here? Again, please put your questions in the chat. Don't be forgetting them like I would. And Ben, the floor is yours, my man.
All right, I appreciate it. And Jeremy and Sal, same to both of you here as we go through this. My preferred format of presentation is making it as collaborative as possible. So if there's anything you're curious to learn more about or any questions maybe on behalf of some of the people who are dialing in, please feel free to jump in and start a conversation about it. Cool. Well, without further ado, everyone, excited to dive into a little bit about what we're building here at Navattic. So first and foremost, just a little bit of level setting and context. What Navattic is at a high level is a no-code solution that empowers companies to build out product tours in a matter of minutes and at scale. So really our mission here is, and the reason, over 1,000 plus customers at this point have chosen and selected Navattic and using interactive demos is whether it's a junior intern over the summer or your most senior solution engineer or marketer, anybody can log into Navattic and build out product tours, usually in about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the length. And most companies we see have a live deployment of a demo that's ready to be shared externally within about a week or so of getting signed up. So when we go through all of these examples and when we talk about all of these different use cases, I think one of the most crucial pieces about what we're doing here is just democratizing the ability to build out product demo assets at scale at a business. I think one of my favorite conversations, and so often I hear from a lot of the prospects I speak with, is prior to interactive demos, so much of the content team has been reliant, whether you're a solution engineer or a marketer, on the engineering team to build out these resources, right? And that can be a tremendous bottleneck for a lot of companies. So again, a huge value prop and probably one of the main pillars of Navattic is just the ability to build these out very quickly and at scale with no code or technical resources required. The other two pillars about what we're doing over here that I think is pretty cool and why teams choose Navattic is the scalability, easy use we just talked about. The second piece is enabling your prospects to get hands-on with your product and your solution. I think what we've learned, and everybody in the market knows, that the general preference to buying these days is doing all of my research without having to talk with Sal or without having to talk with sales. So many people just want to be able to go on a review site, log onto a website, go through a video, click on a product tour. They want to do the majority of their buying or their research entirely on their own. And I think that's why so many companies are leveraging product tours, is because it really meets prospects where they're at and their preferred buying method, which is getting hands-on and doing a lot of my own research first. So the ability to leverage product tours, majority top of the funnel, which is what we're going to look at, but serving a multitude of use cases, which we will get into across the entire funnel. And then the last piece, probably the newest piece that I'm most excited about, is for the longest time in the market when interactive demos didn't exist or none of this content really existed, that was enough for companies, right? Like Sal, you might have said, hey, we don't use interactive demos today. You provide interactive demos. Let's get started. That's good enough for me. That's no longer good enough. And that's what I'm really stoked about is a lot of people are like, yeah, great. I need an interactive demo. I don't have one. But what really is important for a business case and to scale this across the business is show me the data. show me the analytics. How is this actually performing for the different use cases that we're plugging it into? So those are really the three pillars when you think about why would I explore Navattic? Why would I consider interactive demos? Scalable, easy to use, no code. It empowers your prospects to get hands-on with your solution, and ultimately will provide the analytics and the data point to make this valuable and to be able to track how it's performing.
Absolutely. That first point was huge for me as an end user. I was a little nervous to get into Navattic because it's been this big engineering project to do something similar to that. And yesterday I made 5 demos for clients in a matter of a couple hours. So like that first pillar is massive.
I would just add to, one of the things, because I know this audience in the webinar is largely from the Acumatica ERP ecosystem. One of the ways that we have been most successful, even using Navattic ourselves, is, an Acumatica demo could be 4 hours, it could be 8 hours. We've done more complex ones, 2 days of demos on site in person. And in all those deals, oftentimes we have these bolt-on solutions that are plugins to Acumatica, just like, Salesforce has a marketplace of solutions you can embed in Salesforce. Acumatica has their own marketplace. And it's really challenging as an SE to then break up a 4-hour demo with 3 other speakers, right? So what I would say one of the most successful ways our company has been successful, not in our client work with Navattic, but ourselves, has just been, I'm going to just we have a stable environment from that ISV. We're going to create a Navattic flow that just allows us to do a 5-minute flyby of container management or Avalara, whatever the solution is. It's not necessarily our software, but it's something we have to show as part of our deal, right? And it's oftentimes embedded in Acumatica. When we shift from a live demo to a click-through, and we've already gained that rapport with the end client doesn't know or care. Like from their perspective, and you'll see in a moment, it looks just like you're in the software. And then we go right back into our live demo. So it just reduces the amount of interruptions we have on demos. I really think it's helped us increase our close rates because of that. And just like from eliminating obstacles in the sales process, the more bolt-ons you include, it's really been a game changer for us.
I love that, Jeremy. And I think to your point, what we're hearing from a lot of sellers is not only the benefits of leveraging this on live calls, but how you can also use this asset to sell between demos, right? So like every seller here knows, I just go on an hour-long demo with maybe 2 of the 5 stakeholders. And after the call, I'm sending the gong recording or whatever that may be. You know what's not happening? A C-suite or a director level sitting down and watching a 45-minute gong demo. Show me a director who does that. I'll be really, really impressed. But what's even more powerful is, hey, I'll send you the recording, but I'm also going to send you a product tour. It's 20 steps. It's going to be tailored to the use cases and the priorities that we discussed today so that the additional stakeholders who are not on this call can get caught up and they can asynchronously go through the demonstration that we just spent the last hour on. And one step further, with Navattic Analytics, I will be able to see who's looking at this. I will be able to see, did Sal share it with Jeremy? Okay, who's Jeremy? New stakeholder identified. How many steps did Jeremy go through? What was Jeremy interested in? Where did he spend the majority of his time? So that I'm a little bit more informed next time I speak with Jeremy. So it's empowering your team to sell between demos, and it's also kind of keeping an eye in the background with the analytics that we're able to track. Cool. All right. Enough conceptually about why this stuff is really, really cool. We like to sell with the product. So let me show you what this stuff is all about and why we think it's pretty cool. Going to share my screen. And Sal and I practiced this right before it came on, so hoping I execute it well.
Hey,
we good?
Good.
All right, cool. So let's go through this a little bit. So few different use cases, typically how teams leverage Navattic. We've already kind of hinted at a few today, right? The marketing umbrella, pretty cut and dry. Top of the funnel, using interactive demo typically on a landing page like you're seeing here with our customer Wiz, or maybe it is a CTA directly from the website. A multitude of different ways to use this top of the funnel for the purposes of not only product exposure, but ultimately demand and lead generation. Marketers come to Navattic and buy Navattic because they want to put this on the website, see how many people are going through it, where are they dropping off, what part of the product are they interested in, but most importantly, how many leads are we actually getting from the demo? So when you think about leveraging interactive demos for top of the funnel, generally speaking, that's how you can think about it. And then, of course, there's also sales use cases that Jeremy and I were just kind of jamming on there. So really kind of two buckets that we think about how and where would I actually use this across my business. So I always recommend starting with a marketing use case. Why? It's incredibly low-hanging fruit. Building out a product tour like the one that we're looking at here with Wiz is a 16-step high-level demos on a website should be 12 to 16 steps long. It is not the purpose of showing the entire product. It's just to get people excited and bring them inbound. Building out a 16-step demo in Navattic will take teams 15 to 30 minutes. You can have something launched and live within a matter of hours or days, and then immediately start seeing how many leads are we getting from this, how many people are going through it. So even when sellers come to me and say, Ben, I want to use this for my SE team or my sales team, I always recommend a website deployment as well because it is such low-hanging fruit. And it also has ripple effects for your sellers. Think about an inbound lead that you get where a prospect jumps on Wiz's website and they just book a demo. And then they get on the call with your SDR or your AE. And I say, Sal, why did you book a call with Wiz today? And you're like, I don't know. I think it looks kind of cool. And I just booked a call. Now, on the other side, think about Sal comes inbound, goes through the product tour, goes through all of these steps. I'm now tracking this through our integration with Salesforce. So before I jump on a call with Sal, I can see that he went through the interactive demo. I can see all the steps that he went through. And then when Sal jumps on that first call with me, he says, yeah, Ben, I'm interested in Wiz. I went to the product tour on your website. I thought this was really cool. Tell me more about this. It seems like it's a perfect fit. The prospect is much further along in the journey, having gone through a product tour versus maybe, a video or a testimonial that they've read. So what Navattic really is and the technology and what you're looking at here with Wiz is our Chrome extension will take a full HTML and CSS capture of your software and your solution so that as your prospects are going through the demo, as you can see, it's going to look and feel like the real software. So it's not a static screenshot. It's not a video where I press play and then I leave the room and go get a cup of coffee and pet my dog and take my time. Like it actually requires my engagement with the solution and I can click through it in a way that looks and feels real. Now, I think what's really interesting, Sal, for the ERP folks and the partners is the fact that these are guided is extremely beneficial and incredibly intentional. So something we hear from a lot of people who use interactive demos for partner sales is they're not always experts in the partnership software that they're selling, right? Like if you are selling an ERP in a partnership with a different solution, there's two problems that you're faced with. Do I have access to that software? And do I know it well? And so a guided solution from a partnership perspective will empower you to say, hey, here's our integration with Wiz or Jira, for example, and let me show you exactly what that looks like. And by creating a guided demo, you're demoing a solution that will never break. It will always work. And it's sort of helpful for you who might not be an expert in Jira to be able to say, yeah, this is generally speaking what the partnership will look like.
Yeah, that's huge. Back to what even Jeremy was talking about, like that allows our team to be successful where we don't have to be the experts on these on some ISV solutions, a part of a bigger net new Acumatica deal. It allows us to do a nice quick overview of the solution, help the potential client understand that a little bit, the key insights of it, and then that's life-changing and saves so much time and so many deals.
100%. I love it. Cool. Lastly, on the marketing side here, ultimately these demos, as mentioned before, are built for the purposes of conversion. So when you partner with Navattic, we will share with you our data. You'll work with our customer success team to not just train you on how to build demos in Navattic, but share with you how to build the most optimized demo for conversion. So we have recommendations around where should you bake in a call to action? Where should you even put this on your website? Should I form gate it? Should I not gate it? All of that really important information because we don't want to just build demos for you. We want to build beautiful demos and we want them to convert. That's what we care about. So when you think about leveraging from them for the top of the funnel, there's a lot of tips and tricks that we can share around how to bake in CTAs and build these for conversion. Now, the last example I wanted to share is our customer ramp in terms of last example, really for the marketing piece. The reason I like to show ramp is they're doing something that's really, really cool. What I hear from a lot of prospects is, Ben, I want to build a demo on my website, but here's my problem. I serve 4 different personas. We have 7 different products. how do I make sure that, like, do I build all of that into one demo? That seems really long. How do I make sure Sal can actually see what he cares about? So we have a new feature that we recently released that Ramp is leveraging today, which is actually starting your demo with basically conditions or options. So they choose to form gate it, which, teach their own on that. So once I fill out my email, as a prospect of Ramp, I actually get to self-select what am I interested in. And remember, this can be limitless. So this could be, tell me what kind of persona you are, what business are you, what vertical do you serve, what feature do you want to see. So we can make this as robust as you would like to. But as a prospect, I get to self-select what I'm interested in. And now I'm dropped into a demo that is specifically tailored towards my interests versus a generic demo. So this is definitely the trend we're seeing marketers move to in 2025 is I want an interactive demo on my website, but it definitely needs to be tailored to my prospects.
Yeah, that's huge. That's awesome to have that flexibility, and that's part of a good SC's role in doing a great demo is showing the specific pieces of a software that meets and fixes the pain points of the potential end user. So why sit through, in a Navattic case, 100 slideshow demo when it's only the 20 or 40 that you need to see out of that to meet the need that you're going to be using it for. That's awesome.
Yeah, and Sal, to your point, something a lot of SEs have started to do is build demo centers on their website. So this is our customer Vitally, and what they've done, which is pretty cool, is they have this entire demo center, or I should say more of a resource center on their website that includes videos, it includes assets, but it also includes all of these individual product tours that are feature based. So from a SE perspective, you can chat with the prospect, understand what they're most interested in, and then in the follow-up, grab the specific feature-based demos they alluded to and send them out. So you can build this to be externally facing or internal, kind of similar to maybe like a high spot or a seismic, and basically just a repository of demos available to your sellers at any time.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Just taking a look at the question real quick here in the chat. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Example of interactive demos. Yes, thank you for calling that out. So a few we've looked at so far being Wiz and then obviously Ramp as well. So this really is what the interactive demos look and feel like. But let me do you one better. Let me drop this in the chat so you can certainly click through it on your own. So here's an example of the Wiz demo that I had pulled up, but Tune or others, feel free to click onto it and check it out. Cool. And then, yes, in terms of building it, I think with the remaining time we have here, what I'd love to do is transition into the platform itself and give a quick high-level overview of how we build these demos out. So what we're looking at now, team, is Navattic. This is our UI. This is where you and your team will log into to build out the demos, like some of the examples we've seen here today. Sal, this probably looks very familiar to you, as I know you spent a lot of time in it. But kind of just a brief high-level overview of what we're looking at. The product demos tab here will be a repository. So all the demos that you have built that are ready to be shared with the world. So I can log in at any time. And let's say, for example, I'm ready to share out this demo that we built for the HubSpot team. You'll notice this share functionality in the top right-hand corner. So when you build a demo, Navattic will automatically generate a unique URL that can be completely white labeled. So you're ready to copy this URL and send it out or attach it to a CTA on your website, however you'd like to deploy it. We also automatically will produce an iframe code. So a very common or typical deployment, like the Wiz one there, would be an iframe embed strategy. So you can sort of customize what type of iframe option you would like to go with, and then we'll spit out that iframe code for you. So when you think about, Ben, how do I actually just launch my website? We give you the iframe, you fire it over to your web team or whoever manages that, and they just deploy it to your website. Super simple.
I am no coding expert at all. So there's the just the ease of creating the demos, but even like applying it to your website, like the code's already there. It's a copy and paste. Even if you're using easy web platforms like Wix or Squarespace, super easy to integrate into your website and make that there for whenever your clients or potential clients are searching around on your website for examples. But yeah, and before the call, I was even talking with Ben about how I love the Google Chrome extension Navattic has. That just makes it so easy to capture the whatever the magic is behind it. Because you said it, it's not a screenshot. It's like the URL capture of that page of the solution. That's amazing. But to build on what Ben shared in the chat, I shared a link of how we use Navattic for our own internal marketing at Product Marketing Leader. That shows some of the content types. So similar-ish to what part are you interested in, but it has the different pieces of content that we make and examples of those. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, Sal, let's show off really quick how we build these demos out. I think that everyone here is probably pretty excited to see that. So let's use this as obviously a fake software. This is a sample application, but let's just pretend this is your software. This is an ERP solution. This is Avalara. This is whatever software that you're selling today. So to get started in building a demo, you'll toggle over to our Chrome extension in the top hand corner, and we'll just call this our sample app. We'll give it a quick title. And then we're going to use our Chrome extension to start capturing, like Sal referred to earlier. So you'll notice, and I'll move it at the top of the screen, it's a little easier to see, that we now have our Chrome extension overlay capture bar. So all we need to do from this point is start capturing the pages that we want to include in the demo. And that capture, again, is that full HTML and CSS. It's going to look and feel real. It's going to capture the entire scrollability of the page, everything we're looking at. So all you have to do is simply hit capture. We also have an on-click solution, which is probably a more efficient way to build a longer demo where you don't even have to click on this capture button. Navattic will automatically capture for you as you're clicking through the solution. So a few different ways depending on the type of demo we're building. So I'll take a couple more. We captured the home page. Let's just capture this transactions tab, and then maybe lastly the cards tab here. Great. So we've made our captures. We'll hit finish, which will route me back into the Navattic app, which we were looking at earlier. And here are those 3 captures that I just took using our Chrome extension. Now, I like to start my demos typically with a modal, but you can certainly use a tooltip or an invisible step. More on that here in a minute. It will make a little more sense. Great. So we've taken our captures. They are living in chronological order, which we can, of course, move around as needed. We can add additional captures if we forgot to take one. And then I think something that's super cool is the ability to actually edit or manipulate these. So when we say that they're HTML or CSS, it means that we actually control that after we've captured it. So here's that second screen that I captured. But if I select Lyft, for example, and maybe I decide, hey, I'm more of like an Uber guy, we can blur, or we can hide it or remove it. So you are in full control of the software after you capture it using our Chrome extension, which is pretty sweet. From here, we'll start building out the demo. So we can say something like, welcome, tune to this quick demo. And then if you recall, we clicked as a second step onto, I forget actually the name of the tab there, but we'll just say click here, and we'll change this step type, like we talked about earlier, from a modal to a tooltip. So now we're actually going to have the prospect select the element in your software to transition to the next step. So we'll attach it to this transactions tab. And if we preview a very elementary, simple demo that we just took a look at, we're going to see the captures that we just took in a way that looks and feels real. I can scroll through it. Welcome to our quick demo. I'll hit next, and then I'll be prompted to click on the transactions tab rather to keep the demo going. And now we're on that tab, and so on and so forth. Tons of other features within the builder itself. Something I hear from a lot of teams is, Ben, I already leverage videos. I already leverage Figma. I've spent a ton of time in those. How can I reuse those? How can we incorporate that? We can basically capture any Figma screens that you have today. And in terms of like videos or GIFs or audio overlay or AI voiceover, all of that can be included to enrich these individual steps as you would like to. So I always like to say that interactive demos should be sort of in tandem with other assets you have. It's not necessarily replacing it. Let's incorporate other content you already have. Let's incorporate like a welcome video in step number 1 or AI voiceover in step number 3. So it's kind of marrying all the different assets you have versus using one or the other. Toom, reading through your questions in the tab or chat really quick here. So basically, I have to create a demo first and then capture some screenshots. I'm not sure I'm totally understanding the question, but basically what you would do is you would log into your software and then you would have our Chrome extension already downloaded and you would simply just start capturing your software and then jumping into Navattic to piece together that demo. Sal, anything else to cover on the building side before we finish up with some integration stuff?
I think that was a good quick overview of it. I don't know if this answers your question or not, Toon, but it's going live in your software. If you using the Chrome extension, it's literally clicking through on the process of what you do. So if it's like how to create an invoice, clicking on payments, and then every click you then do, it captures that screen, and then going in Navattic and just adding in what context or words and making sure stuff's clicking through and going to the next options. So it's creating a demo, but it's cutting the time to do that drastically and doing it in a super engaging way that looks like live software without having to be live in the software, if that makes sense. But cool. Awesome. Thanks, dude. Implications of the free trial. Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, it's a great question. So super quick, just jumping into our newly revamped website, which looks fantastic. Shout out to our team. Tina, I'm glad you brought this up. So if you're curious to get started with Navattic, if I've done a relatively good job today, hopefully you're moderately interested here. You can get started completely for free. So we do have this starter plan. It is not a free trial in terms of a limitation. This is starter completely free for as long as you'd like to test it out and use it. So it does obviously have some limitations. You can only build one demo. You're only going to have 2 seats with it, basic analytics. But it's a fantastic place to kind of dip your toes in, build out an initial demo, perhaps share it internally to garner some interest and see if it makes sense for the team.
That's awesome. What kind of integrations does Navattic have? Sorry, because I kind of sent us a different direction by jumping into that next question. But integration is a good question when you're thinking about pricing and what other softwares you use.
Yeah, for sure. So just to tie a bow on this pretty quickly here, because I don't want to take up too much more of the team's time. Ultimately, we are tracking engagement data. What that means is every demo you send out or lives externally, every single action that a prospect clicks on in that demo, Navattic will be tracking. So what that looks like under our visitors tab here is we can look at just some fake demo data here. An individual from the company Brex, I can see how many steps this individual went through in the product tour, how much time Liam spent in it, any conversion metrics. And then what else is pretty cool is we'll track it at the company level as well, which is more of a sales use case. So if I send this demo to Liam, but then Liam shares it with Isabella and Chloe and Ella, we'll be able to track additional stakeholders who have gone through it. So Navattic is tracking engagement data at the individual level and at the company level. And ultimately, through our playbooks feature, you can build out any workflow that you may need to using your CRM today, whether it's HubSpot or Salesforce, or we want to send Slack notifications when a high value prospect is going through a website demo. So it's sort of like an if-then or like if-when sort of playbook option here to build out really any workflow that you want with our integrations. And I think we do have our integrations tab here, so you can see what those look like at a high level as well.
That's a good question.
Sorry, reading that now. Can the spectator ask a question and demo jump to the... Yes, I love this. So can the spectator ask a question? Yes. So what we see with a lot of teams is incorporating their existing AI or chatbot or really whatever chatbot you use and attaching that to the landing page that the demo exists on. So whether it's a demo that you're sending out or a demo that lives on a landing page, you can attach an AI or a chatbot the same way you normally would to allow prospects to sort of interact and say, hey, I'm going through this product tour right now. I have a question about this. The only piece we would not be able to support is using AI to jump to a specific demo that they're interested in. However, you could use AI to say, oh, you're interested in XYZ feature, here's another interactive demo of that feature. So it probably lead them to a different demo, not a specific step within the demo they're on.
That's cool.
Everybody loves the AI questions right now. I love it.
I was going to say there had to be at least one for today. I love it though.
Cool. All right. Well, that was somewhat of a lengthy demo, longer than typically we like to be talking for. So I guess with the remaining time here, Sal, happy to open it up to you or the team or anybody else to answer any questions that you're curious about.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, too. And yes, you can absolutely embed that on your website. So anyone who visits your website can easily access that and click through it. And then, yeah, even sharing it's as easy as just sharing a URL as well. So super easy. And any other questions? Those were great questions. And Ben, thanks so much for that time going through that. No, that was super helpful. Even as an end user of it, that was great to see some of that as well too. And even see some things on the analytics side that I've been missing. Being able to track not only the individual, but the company side, that's massive. That's huge for reviewing how your marketing, your sales is doing. That's great.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm super, super passionate about it. As you can probably tell, I'm really, really excited about what we're doing over here and would be happy to set anybody up who's interested in a free trial in terms of our starter plan to get started. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, Sal. Thanks so much for having us on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I know for me, granted, I'm an end user of Navattic, but like big takeaways for me is like the ease of use. The analytics are massive to have that on the back end. And then being able to easily share that out and really help curb where I feel like sales is going, where people are doing their own research ahead of time. It's an easy way to get basically the software in their hands without actually having to give them the software and allow them to do their own research and time. This is awesome. Ben, what would be the best way? Obviously, there's the website. You can sign up for the starter, the basic plan, whatever that was technically called. But with any questions that anyone may have, what's the best way to get in contact with you or the company?
Yeah, I would say if you're interested in seeing a more in-depth demo or setting up a trial or need some help with a free starter account, reach out to me. Our sales team is not the traditional sales team. I promise you will not be inundated with sales leading questions, things like that. We're just here to help, and we're really, really excited about more companies leading with their product, and that's really our mission here. So I promise it'll be a good experience, and we'll just help you help set you up for success, but whatever that looks like. So reach out via our website, get in touch with me directly, put you in touch with someone from our team, and we'd be excited to work with you.
Awesome. And if you come our way, Presales Leaders way, we'll try to answer the best we can, but we can also get you connected with Ben and the rest of the great team over at Navattic. Toon, want to answer your question real quick before we close out. The last question before we end the call, how do you compare with Storylane?
Yeah, Storylane is a player in the space who is very similar, I would say, to Navattic in a lot of ways. Big fan of what they're doing over there. I think they're leaning in pretty strong on the AI side, and they're definitely more focused on kind of like a self-serve motion. So enabling teams to log on to their website and kind of get started very, very quickly. I would say a lot of differences around Navattic is kind of our structure and how we partner with teams. So while we do have like a self-serve free trial motion, we really envision, working with teams from a partnership perspective. So that means you're going to get that white glove support, that CS onboarding to ensure that you're not just building demos, you're building them for conversion. There's some nuances in our different pricing models as well, and a few features here and there. But I would definitely encourage the entire chat to jump on G2. There's an entire demo automation space. Go look at some of the other players in the space. Make sure that you're partnering with the one that fits your needs best. There's a lot of different ways teams can leverage interactive demos, and every company has their small little niche in the space. So I would always encourage companies to go on G2, go chat with customers from Navattic and Storylane, and figure out which one works best for you. And at the end of the day, more interactive demos in the entire world, whether it's Navattic or Storylane, is a good thing for both of us. So I would definitely encourage you to use it, whether it's Navattic or somebody else.
Awesome. Great question to end on. Well, Jeremy, thanks for your time hopping on. I know life's busy right now with bad weather in Pennsylvania and juggling kids and all the extra days off. Ben, thank you for the time and showing us through Navattic and a little bit more in depth. Everyone, thanks for tuning on. Thanks for your great questions. Thank you for your time. We have another webinar coming up in a couple of weeks that I'm sure will be getting an email about here shortly. But everyone, thanks for the time and have a great rest of your day.